Hi, I'm Karishma Codero, and I go to the University of Texas at Austin, and I'm currently a freshman. I'm majoring in leadership and communications. I'm 18 years old, and I work for Young Invincibles as a young advocate. So today I'm going to be going over our Texas Policy 2020 agenda and what it carries and how that's going to be really helpful, especially during COVID-19. So why is the 2020 Texas Policy agenda so important in the midst of COVID-19? So first I wanted to brief what the Young Invincible policy agenda covers, just do a quick recap of each topic that we go into in the agenda. So in regards to healthcare, we want to protect and expand access to healthcare options. We want to increase access to mental health care resources across post-secondary campuses. In regards to higher education, we want to make higher education a reality for more students by increasing access, driving down costs, and modernizing the system for today's students. We want to also address the student debt crisis in Texas. And then in regards to the workforce policy, we want to ensure pathways to young adult financial security, and we want to include accessible skills and job trainings. All of these topics play into the current epidemic happening right now because these topics are really what is driving so many young people's decisions. In regards to healthcare, there's so many people who are uninsured right now, and with this disease and this virus happening, it's crazy, and you don't want to not have that cushion because it's so important. In regards to higher education, so many people are worrying about how they're going to pay for their college in the future. And then in regards to workforce policy, just having a really good workforce opportunities would be really great for so many young students right now, especially with the unemployment rate happening. So why is it important for more young Texans to have access to insurance? Well, it's important for young Texans to have access to insurance so that they can have that safety net to catch them if they fall into any illness. Especially right now with the coronavirus epidemic, it's crucial to be insured in case one falls into sickness or has any medical elements that arise. The most recent data shows that adults ages 18 to 34 have the highest uninsured rate of any age group in Texas, struggling at 32%. Because young adults are the most uninsured right now, that puts them in a really bigger disadvantage than all other age groups in Texas. It's really important right now to be insured. I can't imagine being uninsured and how hard that is right now and not having that safety net during COVID-19. You don't know if you're going to get the virus, and if you do, if you're uninsured, how are you going to pay for that? I mean, tests are so expensive. The medication, I can't imagine, is expensive. And then even going to the emergency room right now and all of the unplaying factors that you can't even account for, the medical bills would just rack up constantly. And so being insured is really important. And especially with the unemployment rates happening, I can't imagine how many young Texans have fallen off of an insurance plan if they had one, if their parent was if their parent was paying for their insurance in some way through their job, and they had the insurance covered because of their employment, and now that they're unemployed, they lost that, and with that, the whole family's benefits are lost. That could be a completely playing role that is happening right now. And so it's important that young Texans gain access to insurance or look into insurance right now, especially with this crazy coronavirus happening and how we don't know how this is going to play out or how long this is going to last. So it's really important that young adults gain that stability and gain that, safety net that they have insurance during this insane time. So why should policymakers support higher education becoming more affordable? Policymakers should support higher education because it gives a diverse range of students the opportunity to be granted higher education. Not everyone can afford higher education, and because of that, they aren't granted the opportunity others are. Texas holds the second highest student loan debt in the nation right now, totaling more than $100 billion. That is so much money for college. And I think it's really important that this is taken into account and this is put at the front of the table with problems that are happening right now. It's crazy how expensive tuition is in the state of Texas, and how sometimes it's not even the higher education or the tuition that is unaffordable. It's trying to live while paying for outside costs such as rent, such as food, such as other necessities that are needed while you're going through the college process, and then having to tag on the bill for tuition. It's completely and utterly insane. And especially right now with so many people losing their jobs. I have so many friends who have lost their jobs and are really extremely worried about having to pay for their education next semester or even right now, and can't even focus on, because I go to the University of Texas at Austin, so we're doing online school right now, and so many people can't even focus on their education because they're so worried about having to pay for their rent, when their next meal is going to be, how they're going to get another job. It's so crazy. And so just trying to find a more affordable higher education is really important right now, especially with the economy going so down right now. It's really important that we try and find ways to minimize these costs so everyone can be granted the opportunity to finish their education or even start one. I think this is super important, and this is something policymakers should really support right now because of all the unemployment rates that are happening right now, because of all the different factors that are being played into the situation with COVID-19. We don't know if people are going to be able to go back to college next year because their parent lost their job or they lost their job. And so having a more affordable higher education is really, really important. And then lastly, why is the workforce development so important? Well, the workforce development is so important because it grants young adults the ability to gain new opportunities while also being compensated for their time they are putting in. So many people I talk to that are friends of mine ask me, oh, what do you do? Like, do you have a job right now? And I'm like, yes, I do. I'm an intern for Young Invincibles. And they ask me what that is, and I go into detail. And they're like, that is such a great opportunity. I wish I could have an opportunity with my major or something that goes hand in hand with my major that could help me in the future. And I sit there and I think that's so true. There's so many people who want jobs or who want internships that will help them in the future, that will give them the next level of skills that future employers are looking for, but they can't because those internships are unpaid and they need that financial income. They need that check to keep them going or to help them pay for other things in their life. So instead they have to take a job that doesn't help them that much with developing higher level skills. So I think it's really important that companies and people take into account that it's important that you pay people for their internships or you pay people to take a job because these people are putting in lots of hours and hard work and time, and that they really do need that compensation to help them in the future. So overall, I think it's really important that we take into account the Young Invincibles Texas 2020 policy agenda because it's so great, especially with what's happening right now and how it can come into play and help so many young adults all across Texas with these trying times and with everything that's going on right now. There's so many opportunities that exist for Texas policymakers to uplift the health and economic prosperity of young adults in Texas, and I really hope they take into account what Young Invincibles has put on the table and for what we think needs to be done. So that's all I have right now. Thank you so much. I hope you're practicing social distancing. That's all. Thank you.